Hey guys, it's Jaclyn, and today I wanted to make a video and share with you guys my favorite highlighters. Now I know I recently just filmed the Ride or Die makeup tag, which was super fun, and in that video I had to pick like my one favorite product from each category. So like for example, my one favorite bronzer and my ultimate favorite highlighter, things like that. And although I find those videos helpful, I almost find it more helpful to hear like top 10 lists and then really compare different products, just because everyone's obviously looking for something different in terms of their makeup product. Like everyone's got different types of skin, everyone likes different types of finishes, things like that. So it's a bit more helpful to hear like the best of the best products and then really determine which product is right for you after hearing like little reviews on them, if that makes any sense. Anyways, so I've compiled my top 10 favorite highlighters. Actually, it's not 10, it's 9, but close enough. So I compiled my favorite highlighters, and I'm gonna kind of go through like the pros and cons of each one and really talk about like the finishes and which one I think will be right for different types of people, things like that. Anyways, so enough of me blabbering. I think we should hop on into it. So I'm gonna kick it off with the product that I talked about in that Ride or Die makeup challenge. I said that this was like my ultimate favorite highlighter, which is like true. I do have other ones that I love as well, but I decided that this one was like my ultimate favorite, and this is the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter, which may come as no surprise to you guys because this is a very popular highlighter right now. It is gorgeous because it is a peachy, champagne-y colored highlighter, which is a bit more unique to find with the highlight. But what really makes these highlights stand out, I find all of the Becca ones, is the formula of them are amazing. The formula of them are amazing? That was not proper English. The formula of the Becca highlights are amazing. They're super creamy, extremely blendable, and this color in particular is great because it is so eye-catching that gold is really, really reflective. If you have any warm undertones in your skin, more olivey skin, it really pops against it. Sorry, my voice sounds really weird right now. Okay, this is like a small little story time. I sneezed really hard the other day. Like, it was the hardest sneeze I've ever had in my life, and it like strained my throat so bad that I've kind of had like a sore throat for like the past week, and my voice kind of sounds a little weird and raspy, and I feel like I sound sick. But anyways, excuse my voice. Where was I? It's a beautiful color, but I would recommend trying it on in store because it can be very intense, and if you are kind of just getting into highlights, and if you're not really sure if you want something that eye-catching and intense, maybe go for something less like pigmented and less poppy. I mean, it is called Champagne Pop. Sticking to the theme of Becca, this was my favorite highlighter up until Champagne Pop came out, and this is Opal. Now this color is very different from Champagne Pop, but the formula is exactly the same. This one is more of like a silvery undertone versus Champagne Pop, which is definitely more peachy. Now, I'm not sure if my light is kind of blowing them out. I will try to insert a closer like swatch in comparison. But this one has more of like a deeper coppery with some silver flecks. It's a very interesting color. It can pull a bit warm and it can pull a bit more cool. I find this is a bit more universal color in the sense that it does work better with cool undertones and warm undertones, whereas Champagne Pop definitely works best with warmer undertones. I mean, not even to say it works best, because obviously you can wear this if you do have a cooler undertone, but what I say by that is typically like warmer highlights go with warmer toned skin, whereas if you put a warmer toned highlight on cooler toned skin, it makes like that much more of a contrast. So if that's the look you're going for, totally cool. Like, there's no rules to makeup, you use whatever you want. Next, I want to move on to the Loumanizer by the Balm, and this is a gorgeous kind of yellowy, icy champagne kind of color. And again, I'm not sure if the colors are showing up too well from back here, but I will insert a closer shot. This is Champagne Pop here, and this is the Loumanizer. It's definitely more of like a yellow, paler color than Champagne Pop is, and when they're compared, you can definitely see more of the peachy undertones in Champagne Pop. But this is a great option if you are a lot fairer and you find a lot of highlights are too dark for you. Like, Opal is definitely a bit darker than Champagne Pop, so it might be a little too dark for you for a highlight if you are very fair. This highlighter is definitely really pigmented as well, so I mean, you can definitely make this go like full on bright highlighted cheek, but you can use a lighter hand and get more of a natural effect as well. All three of these highlights are pretty comparable in terms of the formula, like I was saying. It just really comes down to what color you actually want your highlight to be. So I would probably lean more towards the Loumanizer if you are a lot fairer, just because it actually is a lot lighter than the other ones. Next highlighter I have here is from Essence, and this is the Pure Nude highlighter. Now, highlighters at an affordable price point sometimes don't go together. I find it very difficult to find highlighters that I actually like and will use that are from the drugstore. Not because I don't like using drugstore products, but just because I find the quality isn't there. But this is one drugstore product that I actually do really like. Now, in terms of color, it's definitely a lot darker than the Loumanizer. It's more kind of on the peachy warm side like Champagne Pop is, but there definitely isn't that like vibrant gold color in there like the Champagne Pop color has. So when I swatch it, the formula you can tell isn't nearly as buttery as the Becca ones or the Balm Mary Loumanizer, but it still kind of gives you the same effect, although it feels a bit drier when you're applying it, which can sometimes be an issue when you're applying it just because it can be a bit like more patchy, but once you work it in with a brush, I find it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, in terms of like an affordable highlighter, this is definitely one of the best ones that I've tried, and I really like using it as like an eyeshadow as well. It's a very nice universal product. Next up, I have this Rodial powder here, and this is in the shade Illuminating Powder 01 Light Reflecting Definition Highlighter. That's a long name. I don't know if that's the name. It's like the only highlighter I think Rodial does. But it's like a very cool toned pinky highlighter, which I find is very unique with highlighters because most highlighters are like champagne-y and golden, I'm sure as you guys are aware. But if you have more cool toned pinky undertones and you want something that kind of goes with that, this highlighter is definitely the way to go. The formula of this product is absolutely insane. Like the Becca ones and the Mary Loumanizer are a super buttery, nice formula, but this literally feels like I'm touching velvet. It is so finely milled. It's just like, oh, so luxurious. But the color is really beautiful. Like I said, there is that pinky undertone, but there is almost like a pearlescent kind of finish to it that it almost kind of catches more like on the duochrome, did I say that right? The duochrome side of things. But it's a very nice, subtle highlight. It's definitely not as bright as the other ones. Like these ones here are the Becca ones and the Mary Loumanizer. And then down here, that's the Rodial one. It's definitely not as like intense and eye-catching. It's a lot more on the natural side. So that might be an option if you want something more subtle. Sticking to the theme of more subtle highlighters, I wanted to show you the oh, my finger just got all in that product. The Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow Duo, which comes with the bronzer and the highlighter. But the highlighter in here is really nice. It's more on like the yellow, candlelit, golden, champagne-y side. I think I'm just saying all the words right now that I know to describe a color like this. But it is definitely more on like the paler yellow kind of side. Actually, I would say it's pretty comparable to the Mary Loumanizer, but the Mary Loumanizer has more of like a white kind of undertone, whereas this is definitely a bit more yellow, but it definitely is more comparable in terms of like lightness. So I do find when I am a bit more tanned, this can almost be a bit too light for me, and it can almost pull a bit like gray or a bit ashy, and I'm not even that tan right now. So I do typically tend to only wear this in the like winter months and months where I'm not as dark. Okay, the next powder highlighter that I have to show you isn't even technically marketed as a highlighter. It is more of a finishing powder, and I do actually use this sometimes like all over my face if I'm really feeling like I want some dewiness. But this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light. But I did want to talk about this in this video because I do think this is a beautiful, beautiful product. And it's perfect for someone who wants to kind of try highlighter and like dip their toes into the highlighter pool, but they don't want to go like full force and like champagne pop on their cheekbones. This is a very, very subtle, like, it doesn't even have any like sparkle to it. It's just more of a glowing powder. So like I said, you can get away with almost using this on your entire face as a finishing powder. But yeah, if you are looking for something very, very, very subtle, you don't like the idea of glitter or sparkle or like attracting a ton of attention to your cheekbones, maybe start with something like this. It is absolutely gorgeous. So nice. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about my favorite cream highlighters. But basically, you want to probably go for more of a powder highlighter if you are more on the oily side of things, just because powders typically absorb more oils and work best with oily skin. Now, if you are more on the dry side of things, you probably want to stick to more cream and liquid products just to avoid looking like powdery and chalky and like too dry. So creams typically tend to work best. Now if you are more on like the normal end of things, you can kind of like have your choice. If you want to go for a powder one day, a cream one day, or vice versa. My favorite cream highlighter I would have to say is the What's Up by Benefit. And this is actually just like a little Sephora birthday gift size here. But this has lasted me so long. This is like a champagne-y kind of gold color. I would actually say, let me compare it to what I have on the powders here. It's actually very similar to the Becca Opal kind of color. It is more like that golden color, but there is like a slight hint of like a coolness to it, so I find it to be very like universally flattering. Whew. I think I'm talking too fast, I can't speak English. It is a very universally flattering shade as well. I love this product to put on like a synthetic brush, do on my cheekbones, do on my inner corner, a little bit on my lid, brow bone, cupid's bow, and it just gives you such like a glowy, wet, beautiful, lit from within kind of look. It's a really fantastic cream highlighter. Then I also wanted to include the Jane Iredale Lid Primer. And this is actually meant to be more of like an eyeshadow base, but you can get away with using it all over the face. And this is in the shade Petal, but it's kind of like a pinky, cooler, silvery cream. It's so, so beautiful. I love Jane Iredale products. I've been using them since I like just initially got into makeup. But I really liked how creamy the formula is, and it is very buildable. You can definitely like intensify it, or you can really blend it out with like a sponge or a synthetic brush or something like that. This highlighter I would say is most comparable to the Rodial powder highlighter that I was talking about a bit earlier. But it does have more of like a bluey, icy, cool finish to it. So definitely worth checking out if you are on the cooler side and are looking for a really nice pinky based highlighter. So those are all the highlighters that I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and hopefully you can determine which highlighter you want to try next after watching this. But I did want to mention that I haven't tried the Cover FX custom illuminating drops or something like that. I forget what they're called. But they're basically those liquid highlighters that come in like those little droplets, and they look like liquid gold, and they look so beautiful. I've been dying to try those, but I've also been trying to resist the urges just because I have too many highlighters right now. Like, I have more highlighters than anyone needs in their entire life, so I can't really justify it, but I have heard that those are beautiful, but I can't really speak to how great they are because I've never tried them. And I also have tried the Anastasia Glow Kits. I don't own them personally, but I have tried them, and those are lovely as well. So those are other great highlighters that might be worth looking into. But yes, I hope that didn't just confuse you more. But anyways, wanted to throw that out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let me know if you want me to continue this series. And if you do, what do you want me to do next? Like, do you want me to do favorite bronzers or favorite foundations or favorite lipsticks, whatever. Let me know down in the comments below because I would love to hear what you guys think. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!